Welcome back and/or to the channel. Trucker Ride here with S.E.E. And Tuesday, May 14th. And I wanted to follow up. We had touched bases on the DOT blood pressure. I am going to recap a little bit more on that and give you a diagram of the blood pressures. I found more as I dug a little more into the weeds. But I wanted to talk, what I had said in there is talk a little further on that clearinghouse. It seems like the two big things coming up on drivers overall, whether you're independent, company driver, what have you, is the clearinghouse. The FMCSAs and the clearinghouse to have drivers get cleared up the prohibited status on their clearinghouse. So I am just going to go over an article here. I found it very simple, and it has a link. I will try to make sure I have all the links in at the bottom of this video for this. But basically, CDL drivers with drug and alcohol program violations will lose commercial driving privileges, their CDL, beginning November 18th of 24, having a prohibited status in the FMCSA's drug and alcohol clearinghouse due to a drug and alcohol program violation will result in losing or being denied a commercial driver's license, a CDL, or the CLP, the commercial learner's permit. As part of new federal regulations, FMCSA is partnering with state driver licensing agencies, basically your DMV, so that drivers with a prohibited clearinghouse status will lose or be denied their state-issued commercial driving privileges. This adds a layer of safety, making it more difficult for drivers to conceal their drug and alcohol program violations from current or prospective employers and evade the commercial motor vehicle driving prohibition. It also supports FMCSA's goal of ensuring that only qualified drivers are eligible to receive and retain a commercial license, thereby making roadways safer for motor carriers and the traveling public. Yeah, I'd like to know where that's been at with this DEI diversity, you know, putting whoever in as doctors, airplane pilots, and stuff like that. They seem like the regulations really hammer on us truck drivers. Where's the effing regulations I want to see for doctors, healthcare workers, in a high-end, you know, operating procedures to airplane pilots and all this other jazz? You know, this stuff, you know, I get this, but I get also that you really just what do you want to take out? Some decent qualified drivers? I don't know, but I really have to question, where does this stand with all the immigration and these drivers that are coming in that can't even find themselves to the end of the driveway, newly assimilated into this country. So that's my rant. All right, continuing on. Safer people, safer roads. Drivers who operate commercial motor vehicle on public roads are filling a vital role in moving commerce. They also play a critical role in roadway safety. To help keep our nation's roads safe for everyone, the U.S. Department of Transportation established rules which CMV operators must follow regarding the use of alcohol and controlled substances, drugs. Drivers who violate these drug and alcohol program regulations, either through a positive test, actual knowledge of use of a drug or alcohol, or by refusing to test, whether it's like a breath analyzer, a urine test for alcohol, to you know, all the testing for drugs. They are prohibited from operating CMVs until they complete the return to duty process. These drug and alcohol program violations and certain steps in the return to duty process are recorded in the Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse. Now, there is a section in the clearinghouse. Obviously, you have to be registered in there, so you should have an account. You need to go into your account and look for the return to duty process, because if you have a prohibited status, everyone's going to be a little different, so you're just going to have to see on that. I've got a clean bill of health on that. The new regulations require the state licensing the state's DMVs to begin downgrading CDLs on November 18th. So this is going to at the state level. However, some CDL downgrades may begin sooner. States with legislative authority currently have the option to voluntarily query the clearinghouse and downgrade CDLs for prohibited drivers, and may do so before November 18th. So this could hit you now, a few weeks or months before November 18th, or right at that date. Reinstating CDLs. The DOT has established a process for being able to return to commercial driving duties after incurring a drug and alcohol program violation. This process requires these prohibited drivers to work with a professional to receive and complete the required evaluation, treatment, and testing before they can resume operating the CMV, the commercial motor vehicle, on public roads. FMCSA has created a resource that outlines the steps drivers must take to complete the return to duty process. So you have to download that return to duty quick reference guide at the Clearinghouse Learning Center. So visit the Clearinghouse Learning Center and download the return to duty quick reference guide. FMCSA has published a set of frequently asked questions to help CDL drivers understand the new requirements and what actions they can take to retain or reinstate their commercial driving privileges if needed. These facts, frequently asked questions, and more are available at the Clearinghouse website. So the Clearinghouse website, you're just going to have to go there and get the download the return to duty status, and follow its process of what they're saying within it, and the beginning to end steps and what you need to do so you can get that prohibited status off and continue to have your CDL, or to get your CDL reinstated if it's been revoked because of it. So with that, I just wanted to touch bases on that. So basically, at some point, you were asked for a random drug and alcohol test, or you were pulled over or during an inspection or personal time, and refused a breath analyzer or a drug test then, or even a post-accident if you were under suspicion of it, a controlled substance or such, that you refused to do it, or you didn't disclose it, or you what else did they say in here, refused to disclose it, and or you dropped dirty on a test. So basically, if you did. So this isn't, something that, oh, how'd this happen? Guys, gals, folks, if you did wrong. And like I've said in a few videos ago, here at the company I'm at, we're having a hell of a time. We have had many people come in, apply to drive, and when we send them out to start the process, the first thing you do is do your physical and all that. Regardless if you have a med card, you still have to go for a new employment status physical, and they drop dirty. Now, come on. If you're on a prescription drug or any of that, talk to your physician, your primary care physician, and ask them, will this show positive? Will this jeopardize my career when I'm doing a random screening? So if you are on a prescription drug to be treated for whatever it is in your body, you need to be in touch with your primary physician, and you should be consulting also with your employer, so that way everyone's on the same page and you're not just ignoring it like the doctor prescribed it, so I gotta have it. But if it's one of those prescriptions that is going to show positive, and you knew about it, you're on a prohibited status then, and you should be disclosing this stuff if you're a positive test. So it's better to be transparent and upfront than to, like I said, show positive and just lose your job right then and there, and that's going to follow you. So you don't want that, currently or in the future. Like I said, if you want to continue to take care of your family and yourself, and have the livelihood, you need to be very knowledgeable and conscious about what is going on behind the scenes in your life on that aspect. So anyhow, let's I want to touch a little bit here on the blood pressure. As you know, the regulations on that have changed. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So just to kind of brush over this again, but in a little more depth, high blood pressure, also known as hypertension, is an extremely common health problem in the United States. Almost 50% of adults, or over 100 million people, have high blood pressure or hypertension. And more surprisingly, is 76% of the group of that 50% don't even know they have high blood pressure or unaware of it. Blood pressure, when you have it, is the silent killer. You don't, unless it gets so high that you have symptoms, you usually won't know you have it. It is one of those things that, gone untreated, can get out of control till you're at a point when you do have symptoms, you're at a bad state of your health. You can pass your physical with above normal blood pressure, but if it's too high, you will not pass. If your blood pressure is normal, you will pass with no problems. So what they're saying is, if your blood pressure is high, and if it's basically if it's 140/90 or below, you're gonna pass. If it's from 140/90 to 159/99, then you're at stage 1. And if it's in this range, you will pass, but you will be required to take your physical every year on an annual basis. So if your blood pressure is, of course, 160 over 100 and up to 179 over 109, you're at that stage 2 then. So yeah, stage 1 is 140 to 159 over 90 to 99. Stage 2 is 160 to 179 over 100 to 109. That's going to be that's the previous one, stage 1. This is stage 2. So basically up to 179 over 109. And you will only be granted at the stage 2 status a 3-month certification on your med card, in which you will be asked to take action to reduce your blood pressure down to 140/90 or less. So that's where your 3-month is going to come in. Now stage 3, that's when you hit 180/110 and you're at high risk, and you will not pass your DOT physical card, and there will be no certification granted to continue driving, you must reduce your blood pressure to 140/90 or below. Should they do so, they will be approved to drive for 6 months before they have to get another physical. So you'll have to do, once you get it down, you'll get reinstated, but you'll have to come back in 6 months to get rechecked. And the biannual checks will continue to provide the figures to be provided until the figures are maintained. So once you start coming down and you get it down in that normal range and it stays there. Now, they didn't say when it's maintained at that number, how long do you have to be maintained at that number before they give you a 1 or 2 year. It did not state that. And so I wanted to touch bases on that to kind of break it down into stage 1, 2, and 3. So basically 140/90 or less, that's going to be normal. You'll get your 2 year. It's when you start creeping up over that. Now, the other thing I had questioned myself on was with your DOT physician, because they all have to be in a registry to be able to give you a DOT physical. So when they sign their name, they can be looked up by an inspection officer or in litigation or anything like that, that you've been examined by someone that met the FMCSA's requirements. And how to get certified to perform DOT physicals. Basically, you got to go to school to either be, you're going to be a doctor, a nurse practitioner. Where did I see all that at in here? It just scrolled away on me. To perform DOT physicals, including nurse practitioners, physician assistants, advanced practice registered nurses. So nurses, physician assistants, doctors, stuff like that. So me as an exercise physiologist, I'm not going to be able to go out and get registered and do it. Chiropractors. Chiropractors are the other one. So you can be a chiropractor, a nurse practitioner, a physician assistant, or a medical doctor. And as long as you've gone through the accredited schooling and training, that they will review your credentials before they allow you to register and take their test. So you will have to take a test through the FMCSA, and I had to dig down to the bottom, but steps to get certified to perform DOT physicals. If you are a suitable candidate for the DOT medical examiner, these are the steps. Register on the National Registry, complete an accredited CME training course. You will have to attend a course by accredited company other than your employer, blah, blah, blah. Register for the National Registry Medical Examiner certification test. So, once you register through the FMCSA, you will have to use your tracking number, blah, 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 for certification. Stuff for pass the National Registry Medical certification. So once you pass that registry, your results will be sent to the National Registry certification, where you will be listed on the National Registry. It is important to note that simply passing the National Registry Medical Examiner certification test does not mean you automatically ready to start performing physicals. You should wait until you have received confirmation from the FMCSA in the form of an email. Once you have passed the test, blah, blah, blah. So the DOT medical examiner certification is valid for 10 years and must be renewed with a new test. In addition, you will have to attend refresher training sessions every 5 years. Training for the FMCSA medical examiner certification focuses on methodologies for evaluating the mental and physical capabilities of CMV drivers. This includes topics such as CMV driver physical standards and job requirements, as well as duties and responsibilities of the medical examiners. So they're going to have to know a little bit of our background, along with the FMCSA's requirements, like that stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So, blood pressures, it looks like I saw through here, like evaluating their mental status, along with mobility. You know, do you have a bad back? Are you limping in there? Stuff like that. So they're going to put you through like a range of motion test, along with they're going to check your blood sugar, diabetes, things like that, and your hearing. So the next one I'm going to talk about in the next video coming up is on diabetes. I grew up with a half-sister, and she was a type 1 diabetic from the age of 18 months and on. So as a 5-year-old, I had to learn how to give shots, mix insulin and Reglan and all that. And this is back in 1972. So I've been around the diabetic community, and I was trained also when I was in healthcare for those 10 years. I also went to classes in helping to treat diabetics when they came into the cardiovascular unit. And some of my coworkers were also diabetic, so I was always called upon to help get them stabilized when their blood sugars would bottom. So anyhow, we're going to touch on that in another video, but hopefully this is a little bit better information. I will send the links to these, because I also, as I went through the clearinghouse on the prohibited status and the DOT blood pressure requirements, I said, how do the examiners know where they can and can't sign off on the stuff? And I said, do they have to go through some schooling, testing, what have you? So then I dug a little deeper on your doctor, nurse, physician assistant, chiropractor, who is then your sign off on your medical card, DOT card. What do they have to go through? So basically they have to register with the FMCSA, and they have to take a test. They got to put in up to 15 hours of online courses, training. So basically they're going to have to know all these parameters that the FMCSA has set forth for us to live by out here. So therefore they know if we're good to go or if they're going to deny us. So so things are kind of pretty much put into place. I think it is good for our health and safety, but I think some other things I'm not so agreeable on. But blood pressure is a silent killer. So folks, take care of yourself. You only got one body, and your family needs you. So until next time, stay safe. Continuing educating. Knowledge is learned, not taught. And we will see you in the next video.